Welcome back to the channel. You watch an MG Meaningful Garage. All right, so by the way that I'm dressed, you're probably thinking it's warm outside. It's actually 26 degrees. It's really warm in my garage. I have my heater going. The heater that came when I bought the house, he left this heater for the garage. Unfortunately, it is one of those roller heaters that has to be on the floor, and it's connected to where my compressor switch is at. So it's connected to the 220 volt. It works really good. It heats up the garage really nice, but the only thing is it takes up space. And if it's not on the floor, I have it on a table. So eventually when I'm doing the renovations with the lights and everything, I'm going to put a heating and air conditioning unit in the far corner so it's not in the way of anything. I was cleaning up the garage and I stumbled upon a lot of the parts that I got from my FC project, not the convertible, but for my Turbo 2. So my Turbo 2 is a 1987 S4, Series 4 Turbo 2. And over time, I accumulated a lot of parts and cosmetic parts that I want to put onto this car. And I thought it would be a cool video because when I was looking into getting into an FC, one of my friends, he had several RX-7s, Series 4 at the time and Series 5 RX-7. But me personally, I didn't know the difference. I just thought it was just people were switching and swapping out bumpers and swapping out the trims for the black trim. I didn't know there was a difference between a Series 4 and Series 5 back then. But upon doing more research, I finally figured out after owning my own that there is a Series 4 and there's a Series 5. Things that you pick up and learn over the years. I like the way Series 4s look. I like the way Series 5s look. But everybody's gonna have their opinion which one looks better. But I have both. I have a Series 4 Turbo 2 and I have a Series 5 RX-7 convertible. Now there are some differences on the outside. Years ago, I was looking up a few videos or people that wrote some articles that show me the differences of what the S4 or the S5s cosmetically look like or the performance. So there are a few videos out there, but I want to put out my version of the video because I do have a Series 4 and Series 5 that I own for my personal collection. Starting off right away, if you look at both the cars, the front bumper is totally different. When you look at the Series 4, if you look at the grille here, you can see how the grille doesn't flare out at the bottom versus the Series 5. They have these flare outs right here, and it's more pronounced in the middle of the grille. Now, knowing that the Series 4 over here is black, normally all the Series 4 cars, they come with this trim that's around the front bumper that follows its way around the fender, down the door, all the way throughout the quarter panel, even around the rear quarter panel, and the back bumper. They're normally always black. If the car is red, they're black. If the car is white, they're black. If the car is black, they are black. Now, that's a dead giveaway of distinguishing what a Series 4 car is and a Series 5 car is. Not just saying that the color is black and the Series 5 is color matched with the bumpers in the car. The actual trim is different. Now, if you look closely, you can see the groove is dead center in the Series 4 right here, versus if you look at the Series 5, the groove is on the lower end of the trim, and that follows it all the way around. This is I mean, both trims look clean, but I really like the Series 5 trim, how it looks, how it goes right into the lower bumper and the lower fenders. It just looks a little bit more sleek. A dead giveaway is taillights. These taillights are squared off and they have the painted around the housing here. Squared off lights, that's a Series 4. And when I go over to my Series 5, they have the lights with the circles in there, which a lot of Series 4 people always, well, not always, but most of them trade up and upgrade to the Series 5's taillights because they look a little bit more upgraded. Since we were in the rear, you can't change this trim off the rear bumper. You have to actually change the whole bumper. You have to get a Series 5 bumper if you want to match your front and your sides. So for you guys want to do a conversion of switching from a Series 4 to a Series 5, you have to actually get a rear bumper, you have to get a front bumper, then you have to get the trim that goes all the way around the car, then you have to get the tail lights, and I'm not sure, because I've heard mixed things about the rear wing, that Series 5 is different than Series 4. I have to look into that because they look similar. One thing I should have done, I should have had my friend drop off his black Series 5 RX-7 so I could make a good comparison, because his is a Series 5 black RX-7 and this is a Series 4. It would have been perfect, so we can go tick for tat to see which is which and what is what. But anyway, gauges would be different. Apparently the gauge cluster is a little different. The Series 4, it has like the half moon boost gauge, and I think the Series 5 have a full circle gauge. I've noticed in my friend's S5, he has the option button here for the suspension. You can have the suspension, the adjusting suspension button here. So the S4 hood apparently is made of mild steel, and the S5 hood is apparently made of aluminum, so you save some weight in that aspect. The main reason I made this video is not only just to clean up my garage and arrange some of the parts that are around here for the upcoming projects and videos. I wanted to share with you guys the differences between the S4 and the S5, just in case you want to do that conversion, because S4 guys, cover your ears, because I'm going to be doing an S4 to S5 conversion. So I know everybody is gonna have comments. You can, I mean, I'm all for the comments. I love hearing people's opinions, but honestly, for me, I just like the S5 trim. It just looks a little bit more updated to me. So I'm gonna be converting my '87 S4 Turbo 2 into a S5 Turbo 2. How am I gonna do that? I know a lot of people are gonna say it really won't ever be a S5, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm just doing this for me. I have a collection of parts that I already started collecting and putting together from years and years ago. The big thing that stands out is the tail lights. That's one of the main things that you have to get and find if you want to do a conversion from an S4 to an S5. So find yourself some tail lights. And another thing that sticks out is the front bumper. Now I do have two S5 front bumpers. I haven't figured out which one I'm going to use. I'm thinking I'm going to use the red one, just because it doesn't have any type of cracks or anything in here. The guy did cut out the grill, which I don't like too much. I like this to keep the support so this is not moving around too much, but I'm willing to deal with that. And you would have to get the rear bumper, because like when I was trying to show you guys, the trim is different. So if you do decide to do this conversion, don't just change the tail lights and don't just change the front bumper and call it a day, because the trim is not going to match up. So if you have your front bumper, let's just say here, if you have the S5 front bumper, this is the S5 front bumper. You see how the trim, it's rounded, beveled here, and then that indentation is at the bottom with this little lip. If you go over to the 4, the Series 4, there's no little lip on the bottom of that. That little groove is in the middle of the trim. So if you have this here, there's no groove in the middle of here. So if you have this bumper on here, it'll look good here, but then your fender trim is not gonna match up because this has a groove, but then your front bumper is not gonna have the groove. So you could either find a whole fender or do like me, I found the trim. I found all the trim pieces. So these are the trim pieces that you're gonna have to hunt down, or if somebody's selling it. This fender piece here, this little trim, that's this. So that's gonna replace that. This trim here is gonna replace this. You can see the width of it, it's bigger. So it's not gonna match up, like I said, if you change this to front bumper. And this will fit in the S4 fenders. You can see how around the trim here, they have all this gap. So this is gonna fit in there perfectly fine. So this piece is for the lower rear fender trim. And of course the long piece will be for the door. This will fit in here like that. See that? So that'll fit there. And of course this will be in the rear here. And then once all the trim is done, you change the bumper, it'll match up perfectly straight with all the trim. So that's what you have to do if you want to switch over to a S4 to S5 conversion. So you have to get the front bumper, rear bumper, all the little trims that goes to the fender, the front fender, the rear of the front fender, the door, the front part of the quarter panel, the rear part of the quarter panel, and then like I said, the tail lights. I also found a guy that makes these OEM Savannah lips. It's the same one that I have on my S5. My S5 convertible. The only reason why this is damaged here, crazy story, there was a bear outside and my son freaked out and I forgot I dropped the car this low and I tried to get him closer to the door, and luckily I didn't break it, but the screws that were attached here, they cut right into the bumper, so that's why that those black lines are there. But that's gonna be fixed soon anyway, so I'm gonna get this repainted. But anyway, this is the same front lip that I have here for my Series 5 bumper that I'm gonna put on my Turbo 2. And I came across these mint condition Turbo 2 black leather seats. Those black seats are gonna be going into the this car. The name of the car is BANE. This RX-7 is called BANE. So the black seats are gonna be going in BANE. This car is gonna be completely resprayed. This is the motor for this S4. I know they're saying the S4 motors are a little different than S5, but guess what? The top end of this car, the top end of this motor is an S4, but the bottom keg is an S5. S5 apparently have stronger irons and they can hold a little bit more power, because this car, I want to make some power out of this one. The convertible is just a cruiser, but I want to make some real good power out of this RX-7. If you do change your front bumper and the you would have to get the different lenses, because the S5 lens is a little longer than the S4 lens. So if you have an S4 car and you get a new S5 bumper and you put that on, you will have to get the S5 lens to fit into the new bumper. These S4 won't fit inside the bumper on the S5. This is just a short video, so for you guys out there that want to do a conversion on tracking down some parts for your car, if you want to trade in and get the S4 turned into an S5, those are the things that you have to look for. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode, and always love and peace.